Sit down, sit down. How are you? How was your journey? A bit of a delay. Well, I'm glad you're here now. So, I've taken a moment to kind of read through the personalization questionnaire that you filled out on the ship before getting here. Welcome, by the way, to Hub World. We're very excited to have you here. Have you gotten the chance to do all the good stuff like exchange your currencies, figure out what you can and can't eat, that kind of a thing? Okay, excellent. So I'm going to show you, I've selected 3 destinations for you that I think fit your criteria of a fun summer vacation that kind of fits some of those Earth summer vacation themes. I have some different recommendations of trip length, excursions and fun things to go and see. So let's go ahead and start looking at that. So these guides that we have are interactive, so you can see, and I'll use my pointer here. These circles, we can zoom into these for more detail on these specific things, so we'll get to that. But the first place that I would like to introduce you to is called Sarga. And this is an entirely oceanic planet. So as you can see, there is no land. So you'd be staying in these kind of underwater structures that they build. You will, we'll get to some options in terms of whether you'd like to be swimming and be able to be in the water just as you go about your day. But if you choose not to do that, you can always just take an elevator down to those hotels on the seafloor. They're very beautiful, glass, everything. You can see all of the ocean and all of that, the creatures. So our first item here is Braite spotting expeditions. So we will circle back to the Braite, but that is one of the creatures that you can see here. I just want to mention, it takes about 3 days to get there from here, and you'd be taking the SS Star Dancer. And we usually recommend like about a 5-day stay is said to be ideal. You can always stay longer, but that is kind of the time that it takes to sort of see everything, do everything, that kind of a thing. So another great feature is volcanic sites and alchemy classes. So they can teach you from the volcanic material how to make all kinds of rocks, gems, that kind of a thing, and anything that you alchemize yourself, you can take home with you from the planet. And then we have biology classes as well. A really excellent place to take a biology class. It is absolutely full of fascinating life, really, really amazing creatures that you just can't even really fathom with like an Earth perspective and imagination. Just like things that you've never even, you couldn't even imagine. And then there's swimming magic. We will come back to that as well. We'll zoom in on that. And then there is a bubble massage spa is kind of their sort of treat yourself specialty. Really, really excellent. Very relaxing, very magical treatment. I recommend the bubble massage spa for sure. And then they have trench expeditions as well if you're feeling adventurous. You can explore some of the really deep trenches. They go super far down. There's some really interesting creatures down there, structures, rocks. It's otherworldly. It's really, really fascinating. Here you can see this area is current cow territory. There's some other areas, different types of water, just different makeup, salinity, temperature, pressure, different chemicals. That's what creates these sort of different colors, as well as sea levels. But if we want to zoom into the current cows first, I'll have us zoom in on that. Alright. So, the current cows, they are slow-feeding seafloor grazers. They love games. They have invented many ingenious games. It's a great day trip to go and visit them and learn a couple of the games, play the games with them. They do sell kind of to-go versions of some of the games, so you can take that with you, teach people at home. They love to spend their time discussing and perfecting political and governmental structures. So they're often kind of having philosophy discussions, perfecting what perfect governments would look like, creating those structures and really, really perfecting them. That is their main hobby besides the games. They are also selectively social, so it's very important to respect their territory. They have specific visitor areas. So you do not go outside of those areas. You will bother current cows that do not want to be bothered, and that's considered very rude on Sarga. So we can zoom back out, to the whole planet. And then, and then this is the main tourist area. I did just want to point that out. So it's a little bit of a journey to the current cows. There's a couple of different quick modes of transportation. And then let's talk about the Braite. Let's zoom in on that. So the Braite are very fascinating. They are structurally similar to seaweed. So you can kind of see in this image, actually, there's some different types of kind of body parts where they have some sort of tendrils with the little bits of kind of seaweed growing off, and then some more like thicker pieces as well. So they're not humanoid. You wouldn't see like a face. They are excellent songwriters and poets. The songs kind of emanate from those fronded tails. So they kind of will trail past you and you'll hear the song. And they will sing for you if you swim with them. That's the best way to hear a Braite song. So on those Braite spotting expeditions, you can kind of, if you find one, look for those tendrils and try and swim with them. You can hear their songs. They have a very unique signature rhyming structure. It goes A-A-A-B. I'll show you an example in a second. But that is the rhyming structure that they normally use for their songs and poems. And then they have an example here of one of their songs. Let me find that. Alright, are you ready? I keep thinking I can feel your wake. Feels like breathing bubbles and chest pain. But I just wait for time to float away, till you're just another braid on the current. So you see how those first three lines kind of rhymed, and then that fourth line doesn't rhyme at all. So that is that rhyming structure that they use. And then going back to our big picture here, the last thing I want to talk about on that is the swimming magic. So we'll zoom into that. swimming magic. This is one of the coolest parts for sure. So they you'll see a specialist there. They have plenty, lots. It's a common career for inhabitants of Sarga to do, but they will apply the swimming magic to you. You eat a pill. This you used to have to eat plants, but they managed to distill it into a pill that doesn't, it was kind of an unpleasant experience to eat before. And then you sit and they will do a spell with you. It costs 8 universal currency per 24 hours. If you encounter someone trying to charge you more, find someone else or negotiate that with them, because they shouldn't be charging you more than 8 universal currency for a 24-hour spell. And then the spell allows you to breathe, deal with the temperatures, withstand pressure, see and swim efficiently underwater. So you kind of will be like very adapted to the environment there, which is amazing for exploring. It makes things super, super easy, and you don't have to worry about the things you normally have to worry about with such an environment. But yes, let's go back. And then the last thing is just the special programs. So they have a shell finder program. It's not, so there's another one I'm going to show you has kind of a more built out version of this program. But the shell finder program, when you look for shells, they don't like you to just take them, but you can bring them to like a center or museum or something, and they will reward you. And then you can have it displayed there with your name if you'd like. Usually they'll keep it there for about 5 to 10 years, and then they'll just put it back into the ocean. They also have a miner tag-along program. So a lot of the inhabitants of Sarga are just very passionate about mining and ores, gems, crystals, that kind of a thing. But there isn't a huge variety of mining on Sarga, and there's not any paid mining work. So a lot of them really want to get to other planets where they can pick up mining work. So there is a reduced fare both ways if you take one of them back with you. And then there is also the culinary culture share program. So Sarga isn't really known for their food. There's obviously going to be some good things to eat there, but they are really trying to get build up more variety of cuisine and have better food. So if you are knowledgeable about cooking, you have a cuisine that you really like that you would like to share with them, they will also reduce your fare if you teach them some of your cooking. So that is Sarga. I will get this over here for us. Okay. Our next planet is Sarga. This is about a 1-day journey from here on the SS Chugger. And usually people spend about a week there. That's the recommended time. And then this planet is sort of laid out in a very unique way. So this is ocean here, here, here. And then you've got the landmass with the beaches. So a lot of this planet is beach. That's what it's known as a beach planet. And here, it's mostly made up of flowered meadows. You can do excursions up to the meadows. There's some very delicate deer-like creatures that live up there that are really, really fun to go and see. But there's some different areas. There's Starfish District is this land strip. This is Octopus District over here. And then there is a really excellent ferry system that goes between the land masses if you're interested, you can go north to south like that. Excellent water sports and snorkeling, of course. Meadow expeditions, like I mentioned. Really beautiful double sunset, so there are 2 suns the sunset lasts extra long. There's extra daylight because of the two suns, and a really beautiful double sunset is just incomparable to anything else. It's super beautiful. And then the music culture is also amazing. Lots of really great small shows, big concerts. It's really well known for their music scene. There is also a games cultural exchange, so just a lot of programs where it's very easy to sign up. You go there, you teach everyone a game you know, and everyone does the same, so you end up learning lots of new games from different planets. Shell trade and museum. So this is kind of a much more built out form of the shell program at Sarga. So basically, I think I actually have this written down because there's some specific rules on that. So okay, so usually you can only take a few shells because of the speed at which they get replenished on the planet just naturally. But if you bring an interesting, valuable, historical artifact or something with a really great story, something beautiful from your home planet, if you bring that to them for their museum, then they will give you a bag, and you're allowed to fill that with shells that you then are allowed to take. So it's kind of like a trading program in that sense. And then the museum is really cool to check out as well. There's a lot of stuff from planets all over because of the system. And they have homestead stays as well. There's not a lot of permanent residents, so they're trying to get some more people there to live consistently, to work a lot of those jobs, to support the tourism. So it is relatively cheap and simple to move there. They give you a lot of starter things to kind of help you get set up and all of that. So if you're looking to move somewhere, this is a great planet right now to move. You can also stay for just a year or two at a time, just to kind of like, you know, keep a population there, keep things going, even when there's less tourism. And then they have a sailing certification program. This is a really excellent place to get a sailing license because they have all kinds of different water terrain. On the backside of the planet, sometimes there's storms, which sometimes if you talk to the right person, you can go and do a storm watching expedition. So it's a really the gold standard for a sailing certification. And then there's the collaborative cleanup program. So because of all the tourism, sometimes there is waste, garbage, litter, just discarded things left behind, that kind of thing. So if you join the program for usually it's a couple hours a day, where you'll join a team, help clean up, and then they will reduce your fare for that as well. So let's zoom in on a couple things. Talk about the beaches first. Alright, so a little bit more about the beaches. There are hammocks there. That's one of my favorite features. They're really comfortable, beautiful hammocks. Very, very soft golden sand. Excellent. It's just so soft. I find that very remarkable about the sand there. Warm, clear, swimmable water. That is a big one for people. It's lovely and relaxing to swim in, and it's just clear and beautiful, and the whole time you're there you just are kind of marveling at it. There's areas with varying wave intensity, so if you want higher waves you can go to a beach with higher waves, and vice versa if you want something really calm. There's also, at the beaches, there's complimentary showers, towels, beach toys, toys like beach tools, toys, and goggles, so like buckets, shovels, that kind of a thing. And then there's beach games on the beaches as well, kind of similar to like maybe what you would have on Earth, like cornhole, volleyball, that kind of a thing. Very friendly people. There's always someone who's willing to teach you how to play things. Absolutely beautiful views, and then the beach trees as well are just so gorgeous. A lot of them they have really broad leaves, so they can create a lot of shade, but the trunks are strong enough to hold those hammocks. And then some of them have some really delicious fruits. yeah, none of them taste exactly like earth fruits, but like very sweet, kind of juicy. I've had one there that was kind of like a mango and strawberry combination, but the texture was more like a melon, I would say. Very good though. And then let's go back to our big map here. Another thing just to note is the treat carder, so we can look at that as well. This is just a fun little thing. But so the treat carters are vendors with floating carts. They can be found by the sound of bells. They have a couple of different tunes based off of what they sell. But they also will sometimes approach on beaches to offer like to kind of sell, basically just to sell things to you, depending on which beaches, which we will get to. But they're very affordable, so very affordable local treats. Awesome to kind of try some of the local food, usually really refreshing stuff. You can get hydrated, fuel yourself to keep enjoying the beach throughout the day. A lot of these treats are very famous throughout the galaxy, so there's some examples like starfruit slush. This is not the earth starfruit, it's a bit different. Mallow sticks, misty bars, and gourmand mousse. Those are some of the most galaxy-wide famous ones. And then I do want to talk as well about the two main districts. So the circle is a bit misleading. It's the whole area here. So we have Starfish District and Octopus District. You can split your vacation between the two districts. They have a really different vibe. Sometimes people will just pick one, but a lot of people will split their trip. So let's look at Starfish District first. So Starfish District is very, very fun, very, what is an earth phrase for this? Maybe happening? I'm not sure if they say that on earth. But, so lots of beach bars, usually pretty affordable, lots of parties and different social events you can go to. There's always complimentary water and, again, beach toys like buckets, little kind of excavator type things, lots of games and all that. The best restaurants are in this district. They have amazing restaurants. They have such a great food scene. They have great surfing as well. In this district, the waves are the best for surfing in the Starfish District beaches. And then there's surfing social groups and competitions as well. There's shows too. You can go and watch like professional surfers do tricks. You can swim and play with spray jumpers. They're very fun animals. They like to, they do jumps, hops, tricks. They'll spray you with water. They're very playful and very fun, friendly creatures. They love to interact with tourists. And then there's music players as well, which you can rent, usually pretty cheap. Depends on how long that you want to rent it for. But, yeah, so that is really a fun thing about the Starfish District. So, yeah, they are extremely fun. You're never bored there. And then we have Octopus District as well. Sorry, I'm trying to not just stick this in your face. So Octopus District is definitely a lot more relaxed. There are a lot of spas there. Relaxed, it's much quieter as well. There are a lot of masks, scrubs, lotions, sunscreen, skincare bars. So you can go and kind of, they'll have like bowls and you kind of, it'll tell you like the little steps and the ingredients and all that, so you can do like kind of your own skincare and spa treatment with those. You can swim with buoyant joys. These creatures they're very docile. They will kind of swim around you, you can like kind of watch them go by, and they will, if you reach out, sometimes they will grab your hand and kind of pull you around the water. They also inflate, and they like to take a nap, and they don't mind if you just kind of like use them as floaties while they're napping. They don't mind at all. Once they wake up, they'll just leave and you can find another one. So, yeah, they enjoy it. It seems to be kind of, what is the word? When it's mutually beneficial? Symbiotic. relationship. Floral tea trees, a lot of the time they will hang hammocks off of these, so you can basically just reach up, grab the tea flowers, and then the leaves can be used as cups, so you just squeeze it in, and then there's really nice kind of floral, very grounding, calming tea. Complimentary books, there's usually a complimentary book stand. They're not that far apart, you can usually find one pretty easily. The treat carters don't approach you on these beaches, so they will float past. You'll hear the bells, but they don't go up and talk to people, because usually people are relaxing and they don't want that. But yeah, so this one is a lot more relaxed than Starfish District. People will they'll do like half in Starfish, half in Octopus. So you can definitely plan your trip around that if you wanted to. Yeah, and then we talked about the programs already, so that is Sarga. Really, really great spot for a vacation. It's just so magical. And then the final one I have for you is Hara Bosque. This is a foresty planet, lots and lots of woods and trees. This is about a 2-day journey, going to be taking All Reliable. Usually people stay 3 to 4 days is the average kind of recommended stay, because it's more of a camping vibe, but again, you can always stay longer. Some of my, I believe this one came from Hara Bosque. This one, I'm not sure which plant one, but this one was actually from Sura. So these are volcanic, and then these were alchemized from the volcanic materials. Anyways, I just wanted to bring that up. So it is pretty much entirely forest, wooded planet, lots and lots of trees. The trees themselves are fireproof. We'll come back to that. Yeah, they're fireproof all over the whole planet. So again, I'm not really sure why the circles are in this diagram, but the same with the creeks as well. So usually people will stay in tree houses. There's a couple kinds of tree houses on Hara Bosque, because the trees, a lot of them are so big and so old, especially because they're fireproof. There's nothing that really kills them. So some of them are millions of years old, and so there are these massive trees. So you can either stay in a tree house that is built into like the top of one of the trees, or you can actually stay in a hollowed out tree. Some of them are big enough to be like little inns. So there's hotels, little personal sized accommodations as well in the inside of trees, or you can do a tree house. The star watching there is excellent. You can see so much of the galaxy from there. You can see some really great constellations, stars, clusters. You can see some other galaxies. It is just a prime star viewing spot for the galaxy, and they have really great places to go, expeditions. There are these cars that drive up that have beds in them, so you can lay and look at the stars. They're really perfect. They have a plant exchange system, so you can take, basically, if you plant a plant, you can take one with you that you pick from there. So if there's a tree or something you want to take, you can take a clipping of. You can take any plant, any flower, anything you really want to take, as long as you just plant another one from a seed or from propagation. And the people there are so willing to help you learn how to propagate and plant and all that. Sometimes they will give you little clippings and kind of teach you how to propagate them at home as well. And then there's fire performers. That is a really great thing to watch, because it's so safe to have fire there. They have a lot of bonfires, especially for cooking, and so there's fire performers that do really amazing stunts. You can do cooking lessons. They are really known for their food, very famous for their food scene, which we'll visit in a second. Camouflage shows as well. So the humanoid population there have a very interesting variety in skin hue. So lots of green, brown, iridescent, and a lot of them can camouflage. So they'll do cool shows where they use their camouflage to have like cool effects. Horticulture lessons, like I said, great place to get horticulture lessons. They're really passionate about plants there. You can learn a lot. And then crystal caves. with the crystal caves, lots of exploring, lots of seeing what's in there. Sometimes I'll let you take something, especially if you bring them like a plant from your home planet, but no one remembers to bring a plant with them on vacation, so that's fair enough. But yes, let's zoom in first let's talk about the creeks. That's one of my favorite things to visit. So the creeks there are full of pebbles. So the sounds running over the pebbles are so beautiful. Sometimes they form songs. So if you sit and listen to them, wait for everything else to get quiet, you can hear the songs. Really beautiful. The water is very clear. It's also drinkable. And then there's varying temperatures. There's spots where it's super cold. There's hot springs, and then there's a variety of temperatures. You kind of have to find someone local to kind of take you to what temperature you want to go to, but they have a variety. There's mineral springs where the minerals are very good for you, good for your skin, good for your health. Those are really great to bathe in. There's iridescent fish. These are fun to spot. They're very, very long and skinny. They just have kind of a wider head, and then they're very fast, so they flash through the water, and you usually just see one color at a time, even though they're iridescent. Just the how fast they move, you usually just see one color, so it's fun to watch for them and kind of call out the colors you see and kind of compete to see who gets the rare colors first, that kind of a thing. Very fun. And then the water can also be purifying, so it can clean you very well, but sometimes it can cure, especially like more minor ailments, colds, stomach bugs, that kind of a thing will cure. If you spend long enough in it, you can cure more serious health ailments, definitely. But I would also speak to a local about that because they'll know the right spots for that. But yeah, I would definitely recommend the creeks. They are so beautiful and relaxing. Let's talk about the food scene. So they are very famous for having excellent food. They have a lot of expertise, a lot of history of cooking expertise, and great variety in the food. The specialty is everything grilled, everything cooked on a fire. They do really great cooking classes as well as foraging classes. They will teach you how to forage things from the surrounding areas and then cook them. They have a fun thing where I can't remember what the name is, but you bring a seasoning from home for pairing. So you bring a seasoning that you know, and they will create new pairings with it and present like new flavor profiles to you with that seasoning that you enjoy from home. They have a very great big meals and nap culture. So they have a large meals and then nap, which I really enjoy that about the culture. But yes, they are very, very well known for their food. So you absolutely gotta get some grilled things there. Oh man, just amazing. And then the Kulco, we can talk about them as well. So the Kulco are a very friendly non-humanoid life form, local life form. You'll probably, if you go there, spend a lot of time with them. They love hosting, teaching, and showing tourists around. They highly value and appreciate kindness, so you just treat them with as much kindness as you can. They will do the same for you. If you're unkind to them, sometimes they'll just stop engaging with you. You'll kind of have to wait it out, find someone else to talk to, or apologize to them. They really value kindness. But if you're very kind to them, they're good, amazing hosts. They'll show you all the good spots, all the fun stuff. They are short and furry. I'll jump down to this, they're often described as being very adorable. And they keep a variety of pets. So getting to know one is a great way to also get to know more about the local fauna, because they usually have quite a variety of pets and they can talk to you about them and show you the different animals. They're really lovely and nurturing, so I definitely recommend spending some time with them. And then the last thing here is the fireproof trees. Zoom into that. And then for this one, we actually just have a picture. So this is usually what it looks like. If you try to light them on fire, you can kind of see that you can see the light of the fire reflecting on the tree, but it does not burn the trees at all. So that is an excellent, excellent adaptation. Those forests are very safe and protected. Really, really old growth forests. Very beautiful, very majestic, and very fireproof. And then the programs they have an invasive species removal program. So there are a few, they had an issue kind of a while back with tourists bringing in plants from their home planets to share with them, but not being responsible with the planting of them. So the invasive species kind of got a bit out of hand. So if you join a team that works to help kind of remove them safely, especially if you take some of them home with you, because they much prefer that over destroying or killing the plants. They really don't like killing plants. So if you help them clean up and take some home with you, especially for both things, but especially that one, they will reduce your fare. They have a special ingredients program. If you bring them new unique ingredients or ingredients that are really special to your home planet, really known in your home planet, from your home planet, then they will discount your fare for that as well. If you bring them those ingredients, kind of let them cook something with them for you and give them your opinion on it. That is another program you can sign up for. And then they have a writing co-op program. So they're trying to increase literacy and especially writing in their population. So if you spend time as a writing teacher, usually it's a couple hours of a day that you would do that, they reduce your fare for that as well. So that's a great opportunity if that's something that you're good at or that you're interested in. But yeah, that is Hara Bosque. And those are my recommendations for you. You can always do more than one. You're free to, I'll give you a booking tablet if you want to sit down, look through those details for a little bit, let me know what you want to do, and then we will get you booked for that vacation of yours. Are you feeling excited for your trip? That's so good. Well, yes, let me know what you want to do. I'll give you a second to think about it. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed these spots, and I hope that you really enjoy your trip and have a wonderful time. Alright, well, thanks for sitting with me, and yeah, I'll give you a second to think. See you.